Today we will see about all diuretics. What do you mean by diuretics? The diuretics that controls the water level, controls the plasma level in your blood. That contains the about the water level that contains the plasma level that maintains the whole body water level in your blood that consists of the diuretics. The meaning of diuretics are responsible for the continuations urine dropping. The responsible of the continuation of urine dropping. That is the meaning of diuretics. The diuretics are mostly given to that patient who are having the whole body swelling, who are having the more water conservations, who are having the urine retention. That all are consideration of the needed of the diuretics. That, that is the main indications of a diuretics. We will see more and more about the diuretics, in which condition, which type of the diuretics is going to be given to patients, that we all see today itself. The main diuretics are considered as potassium sparing diuretics and the loop diuretics and thiazides. Three main diuretics are there. Three main diuretics mostly given to which type of the patient that we will see today. The first one is a very common diuretics, furosemide or furosemide, whatever you want to tell. Furosemide. The furosemide consists of the diuretics. The trade name of the furosemide consists of Lasix. The another name of the trade name of furosemide is Lasix. Lasix mainly useful in the each and every area or each and every hospital in the trolleys, in war center, in the ICU center, whatever it is. But the furosemide is very widely useful to reduce the swelling of your body, to reduce the water concentrations of your body. This is what about the Lasix. The Lasix consists of loop diuretics. As I told you, three types of the diuretics are there. The Lasix consists of the loop diuretics, and the main dosage of the Lasix is 40 mg per day. 40 mg per day. You can given this diuretic by the direct IV solution, or you can make the dilutions of this diuretics also. The dilutions of the furosemide consist of the, you have to take the 1 ampule consist of 40 mg, and you have to take the another 9 ml of the NS. You have to make the 1 gem 10 dilutions of this furosemide, and you can give by directly solutions of this furosemide to the patient. This is about your dosage. The actions, the main action of furosemide consists of inhibitions and absorptions of the sodium and chloride in the distal tubules of loop of Henle. Why I should give you the example that furosemide is very useful for water retentions and very useful to weaken the retentions of the water and already responsible for the urine conservation. If you want the more urine conservation, if you want the more urine output, then furosemide is useful. What it is going to be do? It's going to be inhibits the reabsorptions of the sodium and chloride in the loop of Henle. જો reabsorptions નહીં થાય તો શું થશે કે furosemide પોતાનું કામ કરશે અને reabsorption નહીં થાય તો water solutions બધું urine output થી બહાર નીકળી જશે. એટલા માટે જ મેં કહ્યું કે જે પેશન્ટની અંદર વોટર રિટેન્શન વધારે થતું હોય, જે પેશન્ટ યુરિન પાસ આઉટ ના કરી શકતું હોય, એવા પેશન્ટની અંદર furosemide આપવામાં આવે, જેના લીધે થઈને જે વધારે પડતું વોટર હાઇપર થઈ ગયું છે, જે વોટર હાઇપરવોલેમિયા થઈ ગયું છે જે પેશન્ટ, એ પેશન્ટને મેન્ટેનન્સમાં લાવવા માટે furosemide આપવામાં આવે છે. Indications, mainly indication in pulmonary edema with the patient's whole body edema and nephrotic syndromes, or the patient having the hypertension. These are all about the indications of the furosemide, which you can enroll the furosemide injections by IV routes. It's considered of oral also. The oral routes also available for this tablet in route, but mostly furosemide is given by the IV route, as I told you, 1 gem 10 dilutions. Contraindications, in which patient you can't able to enroll the furosemide is the breastfeeding mother or the pregnancy mother or the hypovolemia patients. Because if a patient having the already hypovolemia, and if you are giving the Furosemide, what happens? The urine output will be going to increase, and patient may be going into dehydration, may be going to be heart attack also. So this is all about the first indication in which you can't able to enroll the Furosemide. The main side effect of this furosemide consists of the headache, fatigue, weakness, sometimes vertigo. If it is increased in the dosage, the vertigo may be occur because the dosage of the furosemide if increased, the patient may feeling of the hypotension and patient may feeling going to hypovolemia, that going to increase of the vertigo in that patients. Main nursing responsibility while enrolling of the furosemide consists of you have to maintain the input-output chart. You have to maintain the input-output chart. Why I should tell you? Because if you are not maintaining the input-output chart, what happens? The urine output is going to increase, and if intake is not there, what happens? Patient may go into again hypovolemia and increase the patient's heart attack chances of getting the heart attack. So while enrolling of the furosemide, you have to already maintain the input-output chart. If you are going to intake like 100 ml, then 30 ml of the output should be there, 70 ml of the water should be in your body. So this is all about the input-output chart maintaining. If you are giving the patients 1000 ml of the NS, then what happens? Every 1 hourly you have to check the input output. That should be not more than 30 ml. There should be not more than 30 ml. If what happens, if you are going to continuously IV solution, and if you are not going to give the furosemide, what happens? The swelling will be occur. If patient having no swelling, and then also you are going to enroll the furosemide, what happens? That urine output will again increase and patient will go into hypovolemia. So this is all about the maintenance of the dosage. 40 mg you have to make the solution, 110 ml that about the furosemide. This is all about the diuretics. First diuretic, loop diuretics, furosemide. The second one is the mannitol. This is all about the again diuretic. Mannitol is a osmotic diuretic. Mannitol is a osmotic diuretic. It's a part of the type of the diuretic, but osmotic diuretic. You may be asked in Viva, which is the osmotic diuretic, which is the loop diuretic, which is thiazide diuretic, which is spironolactone diuretic. You might be asked in your Viva. Mannitol consists of the osmotic diuretic. The dosage of mannitol is at 100 ml. The dosage of mannitol is 100 ml. You can able to find out the pint. Mannitol is a pink color pint. Mannitol is a pink color pint that consists of the 100 ml of the mannitol. In which patients you can enroll? The indications of this mannitol consist of the cerebral edema or the hemorrhage or the cerebral intracranial pressure increase, or the patient having the renal failure, or patient having the chemical poisoning. In these all indications, you can able to give the administration of the mannitol by the IV routes that consist of 100 ml. The main action of mannitol is acts by the increases osmolarity of glomerular filtration, which inhibits the reabsorption of water and electrolyte in the urine output. What is going to do? Same consists of diuretic, but what is it going to do? Mannitol is going to maintenance of the sodium and potassium, chlorine and calcium level in your blood and in your urine. If it's going to increase sodium level in your urine, what happens? The mannitol will maintain your sodium level in your blood, and mannitol also will going to maintain your sodium level in your urine. This is all about the mannitol actions that prevents the reabsorption of the water and electrolyte which is unneeded. Main contraindications of the mannitol, in which patient you can't able to, who are having the intracranial bleeding. The patient having the intracranial bleeding, you can't able to enroll the mannitol. Patient having the congestions, edema, already patient having the edema in your cerebral edema, or patient having the heart renal failure, patient having the hypertension. In that patient you can't able to give the mannitol directly. you have to maintain the dose. If you are going to 10 ml today, then again 10 ml tomorrow, then day after tomorrow. This is why you have to maintain your dosage management in patient having the cerebral edema or patient having the cerebral bleeding or hemorrhage. Main side effect of this mannitol consists of dizziness, headaches, seizures, confusions, sometimes bradycardia if going to increase the mannitol level in your body, bradycardia, or sometimes be hypotension or bradycardia. This is all about the mannitol side effects if your dosage is not maintained improperly. Nursing responsibility for going to enroll of mannitol consists of you have to give the input output charge management. In all diuretics you have to maintain the input output chart, so you can able to identify which type of the diuretics we have given, which type of the diuretics give which type of the urine output and how many urine output. So input output maintenance is very necessary while enrolling of the any type of the diuretics. You have to check the electrolyte calcium sodium level in your blood. Who are having the hemorrhage bleeding, in that calcium sodium level you have to check, potassium level you have to check, and you have to maintain the BP level. You have to maintain the continuous checking of the BP level, because if you are not checking the BP, what happens if mannitol going to increase in your body, that leads to diuretic effect, that leads to more effect of the urine output, that leads to patient hypotension, and patient may go into bradycardia. After a patient may go into decrease BP level and heart attack. This is all about the complications can be occurred while enrolling with the mannitol in a patient. So nursing is was very important to maintain of the input output and BP level. This is all about the mannitol. As I told you, mannitol is osmotic diuretic which maintains the sodium and potassium level in your blood and with the urine level also. The main indications consist of cerebral edema and the patients having the pulmonary edema or the cerebral edema or hemorrhage or cerebral increased cranial pressure. The third one, aldactone. The third one is aldactone. Aldactone is a consists of potassium sparing diuretic. Potassium sparing diuretic. This is a type of the diuretic. Third type is a potassium sparing diuretic. What going to do? Aldactone is maintain the sodium level and potassium level in your urine. Aldactone mainly maintain the sodium level and potassium level in your body. The aldactone consists of potassium sparing diuretics. The name suggests potassium sparing diuretics consists of it to regain the potassium level in your body. Regain means તમને ખબર છે કે જો યુરિનની અંદર પોટેશિયમ વધારે જતું હશે તો એને રિગેઇન કરશે, એને સાચવી રાખશે. એ ખાલી સોડિયમને જ અલાઉ કરશે યુરિનમાં જવા માટે, પોટેશિયમને અલાઉ કરશે નહીં. તો જેવા પેશન્ટની અંદર પોટેશિયમ પહેલેથી ઓછું હોય એવા પેશન્ટની અંદર આપણે aldactone ડાયુરેટિક્સ આપી શકીએ છીએ. સપોઝ પેશન્ટને ઓલરેડી સ્વેલિંગ છે જ, હોલ બોડી સ્વેલિંગ છે પેશન્ટને, પણ આપણે એવું ડાયુરેટિક્સ આપવું છે જેની અંદર ખાલી સોડિયમ જ યુરિનમાં આઉટપુટ થાય, પણ આપણે પોટેશિયમને આઉટપુટ નથી થવા દેવું. પોટેશિયમ ઓલરેડી ઓછું છે બ્લડમાં, તો આપણે એને પોટેશિયમને નથી જવા દેવું યુરિનમાં. તો આપણે કેવા ટાઈપનું આપીશું? aldactone ટાઈપનું. That consists of the potassium sparing diuretic. It's about the tablet effect. Aldactone is mostly given by the orally. The dosage of the aldactone is the 5 mg per day only in 24 hours. One aldactone per day. The mode of actions consists of inhibitions of the sodium level and potassium ATPase level mostly in your blood. It inhibitions of the reabsorption of the potassium level and allow the sodium into urine output. બંને કામ કરે છે. સોડિયમને બહાર કાઢવાનું કામ કરે છે વાયા ધી યુરિન. જો સોડિયમ વધી ગયું હોય બોડીની અંદર, ઓબ્વિયસલી કે એડીમાં વધ્યો હશે તો સોડિયમ રિગેન થયું જશે. તો જો સોડિયમને ખાલી બહાર કાઢવું હોય એને પ્લસને તો આપણે aldactone આપીશું કે સોડિયમ બહાર જશે પણ પોટેશિયમ શુડ બી રિમેન ઇન ધ blood. This mode of action inhibits the potassium level in urine output but allow the sodium level to be in urine output for the secretion. The main indication of the aldactone consists of edema, who are having the cerebral edema, hypertension patients, or the patient having the low potassium, patient having the high natremia, means consists of the patient having the polyuria, or patient having the increased sodium level that consists of the hypernatremia. This is all about the indication. કેવા પેશન્ટને આપી શકો? જે લોકોને સોડિયમ લેવલ બોડીમાં વધી ગયું છે, તેવા લોકોને પેશન્ટ્સને સૌથી વધારે હાઇપરટેન્શન રહે છે, જેવા પેશન્ટને હોલ બોડી એડીમા છે, જેવા પેશન્ટ્સને સેરેબ્રલ એડીમા છે, તો એવા પેશન્ટની અંદર તમને આ aldactone આપવામાં આવે છે. કોન્ટ્રાઇન્ડિકેશન્સ મેઇનલી કન્સિસ્ટ ઓફ ધી એન્યુરિયા, જેવા પેશન્ટને બિલકુલ યુરિન ના હોય, જેવા પેશન્ટને બિલકુલ યુરિન ના આવતું હોય પણ સ્વેલિંગ હોય, એવા પેશન્ટ્સને, જે લોકોની યુરિન રિટેન્શન્સ હોય, એવા પેશન્ટ્સને તમે aldactone આપી શકો છો. Or else consist of the diabetic patients, nephropathy patients, or the renal function impairment patients. એવા પેશન્ટ્સને તમે કોન્ટ્રાઇન્ડિકેશન્સ છે, જે લોકોને ઓલરેડી રિનલનો ડિસીઝ છે, જે લોકોને રિનલ ફેલિયર જ છે, તો એવા પેશન્ટને ડાયાબિટીસ આપવાનો કોઈ મતલબ નથી, કેમ કે જેની ઓલરેડી કિડની ખરાબ થઈ ગઈ છે એનું યુરિન ફૂડ આવવાનું જ નથી. તમે aldactone આપશો, તમે લૂપ ડાયુરેટિક્સ આપશો, તમે ફ્રુસીમેડ આપશો, તમે પોટેશિયમ સ્પેરિંગ લૂપ ડાયુરેટિક થાયાસિસ આપશો, પણ કોઈ મિનિંગ નહીં હોય જો એનું રિનલ જ ઓલરેડી ફેલિયર હશે. તો ધીસ ઇઝ ઓલ અબાઉટ ધી કોન્ટ્રાઇન્ડિકેશન. જેને ઓલરેડી રિટેન્શન થઈ ગયું હોય એવા પેશન્ટને આપણે આપી શકીએ, પણ જેનું યુરિન આઉટપુટ બિલકુલ ના હોય, જેને બ્લીડરના પ્રોબ્લેમ્સ હોય, જે લોકોને રિનલના પ્રોબ્લેમ હોય, એવા પેશન્ટ્સને આપણે આપી શકતા નથી, કેમ કે ઓલરેડી એમનું રિનલ જ ફેલિયર થઈ ગયું છે, એમનું યુરિન આઉટપુટ નીકળવાનું છે નહીં. The main side effect consists of the headache, dizziness, weakness, or hypotension. Sometimes they increase intraocular pressures or the blood vision also. If aldactone going to increase in your blood, that leads to the blood vision also. Main nursing responsibility by giving the aldactone by the orally, it's you have to maintain the blood reports, you have to look for the potassium level, you have to look for the sodium level in your body, and you have to maintain the BP level also. As I told you, diuretics is reduce the your water level in your blood, so you have to maintain the BP level also. This is all about the aldactone given by the orally 5 mg. Amlodipine. Amlodipine same effects. Amlodipine is same like the aldactone. Some doctors are preferring the aldactone, some doctors are preferring the amlodipine, but both are this potassium sparing and this diuretics. Both are regains the potassium but allows the sodium level in your urine output. It having the same indication, same contraindication, some like the aldactone. The next one is acetazolamide. The next one is acetazolamide. Acetazolamide is again the diuretic, but it having the more effect also. Acetazolamide again the diuretics, but it having the anti-glycoma agents also. Anti-glycoma agents means it also regain the glucose level in your blood. જે લોકોને યુરિનની અંદર ગ્લુકોઝ રિલીવ થતો હોય એવા પેશન્ટની અંદર તમે આ એસિટાઝોલામાઇડ આપી શકો છો. તો આપણે યુરિન આઉટપુટ પણ જવા દેવાનું છે, પણ આપણે ગ્લુકોઝ નથી જવા દેવાનો, તો એવા પેશન્ટની અંદર તમે એસિટાઝોલામાઇડ આપી શકો છો. It's having the both the effects. It's again about the acetazolamide, again available in the dosage of the tablets that contain up to 50 mg of tablet, and it's also available for the injection that contains the 500 mg of the injection in vial. In the vial, you have to maintain the, it may be you have to maintain the solution. તમારે એનું solution બનાવવું પડે. Acetazolamide in the powder form, so we have to dilute in the 10 ml of the NS, then you can start with the IV fluids also. This is all about the dosage management it may be on tablet, that is consists of the 250 mg, and if it is in IV route, that consists of 500 of the mg. The mode of actions consists of the it inhibits the carbonic and anhydrase activity in proximal renal tubules, and also it allows the waste products to be increase in urine. It allows the waste products of the increase in urine. What is going to do? એ શું કરે છે કે જે વેસ્ટ પ્રોડક્ટ્સ જે છે બોડીની અંદર ઇન્ક્રીઝ થઈ ગઈ છે, કે વેસ્ટ પ્રોડક્ટ ક્રિએટિનાઇન્સ હોય, વેસ્ટ પ્રોડક્ટ્સ જો એ ઇન્ક્રીઝ થઈ ગઈ હોય તો એને શું કરશે, અલાઉ કરશે કે યુરિન થ્રુ એ ક્રિએટિનાઇન્સ એ શું થઈ જાય, બહાર નીકળી જાય. જો આલ્બ્યુમિન બોડીમાં વધી ગયું હોય તો એ શું કરશે, આલ્બ્યુમિનને યુરિન થ્રુ બહાર કાઢી મૂકશે, વધારે પડતું આલ્બ્યુમિન બહાર કાઢી દેશે. So this is about the waste product which is going to increase. If bilirubin going to increase, what it's going to do? Acetylcholamines allows the waste product to regain by the in urine. It allows the inhibits of the waste products in your blood. એક waste products ને blood માંથી બહાર કાઢી દે છે, allow કરે છે. Indications consist of the glaucoma patients who are having the related eye disorders, glaucoma patients, or seizure patients, edema patients, or the sickness consist of with the edema. જે પેશન્ટ્સ ને સૌથી વધારે વેસ્ટ પ્રોડક્ટ બોડીમાં થઈ ગઈ હોય એવા પેશન્ટ્સ ની અંદર આપણે આ ઇન્ડિકેશન અપ્લાય કરી શકીએ છીએ, એસિટાઝોલામાઇડ આપી શકીએ છીએ. The main contraindication in which patient you can't able to give the acetazolamide consists of the hepatic disease, renal disease, acidosis, or patient having the severe renal disease, or the sensitivity of this drug, hypersensitivity of the drugs. These all are about the contraindications. The main side effect of the acetazolamide consists of the sometimes anxiety, confusion, dizziness, or sometimes tetanus or convulsions. Tetanus or the convulsions. It directly affect on the CNS systems. All our diabetes mostly affect on the CNS systems. Main process responsibility while enrolling with the acetazolamide consists of you have to look for the edema level. You have to look for the edema level, you have to look for the blood report, consists of the creatine report, albumin report, sodium potassium report. And with the patient having the input-output chart. You have to also maintain the input-output chart. As I told you, કે દરેક ડાયોટિક્સ આપતા હોય તો ઇનપુટ આઉટપુટ ચાર્ટ અને બીપી મેનેજમેન્ટ હોવું જોઈએ. વધારે અપાઈ જશે તો હાઇપરટેન્શન થઈ જશે, ઓછું ડોઝ અપાશે તો હાઇપોટેન્શનમાં જશે, વધારે ડોઝ આવશે પેશન્ટ હાઇપોટેન્શનમાં જશે, અને જો એકદમ ઓછું અપાશે તો પેશન્ટ હાઇપરટેન્શન રિડ્યુસ નહીં થાય, એડિમા રિડ્યુસ નહીં થાય. You have to maintain the input output chart by enrolling with the any type of the diuretics. You have to look for the blood report also consists of the sodium potassium level, creatine level, albumin level, all iron consist of the in blood. This is all about the acetazolamide. Okay. Thank you everyone. This is all about the diuretics which mainly useful in your clinical area and with the mainly useful in government side also. These all are injections and tablets are available government sites and the private sectors also.